Good morning to all participants. Welcome to this morning's video podcast, and thank you for your interest in exploring and maximizing the use of Gmail as an electronic communication tool during blended learning. This is your colleague, Marvin, and I am hosting this video podcast through my YouTube channel, The New Ilonggo Scientifico. Today, we shall learn more than just sending Gmail. We can learn to actually make the most of Gmail as Google's electronic mail. Gmail is Google's free email service. With Gmail, you can send and receive electronic mails. With some unique features, Gmail is one of the most popular email services. Gmail is an electronic mail, stores your communications safely in the cloud. You can access your email from any computer or device with a web browser. Other than sending emails and receiving emails, you can also do a lot more productivity, and we explore these added productivities in Gmail. You can access Gmail either by typing gmail.google.com or by accessing Gmail from your Google Workspace account. When we search for gmail.google.com, we are directed to the Gmail sign-in page. So we enter our Gmail credentials. And what we mean by this is that we enter the account name that we used when we signed up for Gmail or a Google account. For example, I sign into my Gmail account using my username, and then I click next in order to enter the password that I created for this Gmail account. Then once I enter my password, I can click next. You can notice that by default, your password, the characters for your password is shown as simply an asterisk. That is for security reason. But if you want to check that your password is correct, you can click on the show password box, and the actual characters will show. And then you can you can also click it again to cancel the show password command. So with that, you can now enter your Gmail account. For your Gmail account, once you have access to your Gmail, you can find it here. So you can find in your Gmail screen is your inbox folder. You can also, this is your default folder, and you can also find the starred folder where you keep the emails that you store, you starred for its level of importance. You have also your sent folder where you can find the emails that you sent. You can find a snoozed folder, which stores or keeps momentarily the emails that you snoozed or you decided that will disappear from your inbox and will appear after a later time that you have sent. You can also find your draft folder, and the draft folder keeps the email you have composed, but you have not sent yet. The other folders you can find when you click more or the arrow more, the arrow less. The other in another folder is the important folder, which is assigned by Google based on Google's adaptive understanding of your interests and priority. And the rest of these folders will be discussed as we go on. So the first thing that we can do, and the most popular thing that Gmail can provide, is to create and send an email. So on the left top side of your Gmail screen, we can find the compose box. As we click the compose box, the the message or the compose button, the message window, the new message window will appear at the lower right of the Gmail screen. You can change the size of your message window by clicking on the minimize, and it will be minimized down to your taskbar, or you can click maximize to make it into full screen. And you can also click uh, exit full screen to bring it down to its regular size. And if you decide to close your new message box, you can or window, you can also click save and close. So when you compose an email, you first add your recipients. So with your recipients, the recipient is the person that you send the email to, or the person who will receive your email. You can also send the same email to multiple recipients. So you have the choice of sending an email as a carbon copy. And when you click on carbon copy, you can type then next to carbon copy or CC the name of your recipient. This will send the same email to another recipient or to many other recipients. And when you send the email as a carbon copy, these recipients can see each other's email addresses. You may also want to send an email as a blind carbon copy. And when you can also type the recipient or the recipients that you want to send a blind carbon copy of your email. Uh, this will send the same email to, to other recipients, but these recipients cannot see each other's email addresses. Then you enter the subject that briefly describes the content of your message. You can enter your message, your email message, and when you start writing an email, but do not send the email, it is automatically saved in your draft folder on the left. In your email, you can attach a document from your computer drive, or you can also attach an image from your computer drive. You can also attach a link, or you can attach a document from your Google Drive. You can customize the font size, the alignment, and many other features in for your email. When you're ready with your message, you can click send, and the message will be sent to your recipients. To reply to a single email or the last email in the thread, you can click on the email, and then you can click on the reply uh, button. It sends an email to the person that you sent who sent you the email. So that's reply, and you can also forward an email within a thread, forward it to another person by clicking on the hamburger that shows more commands, and you can find the forward command from there. And when you click on that, you will be asked to enter the recipient's name, the email address, and the email will be forwarded to that person or recipient. One of the many other things you can do with Gmail is to turn on or off your Gmail features in your settings. So you can find the settings on the top right portion of your Gmail screen. Your setting is a gear icon, and you click the setting icons, and you can click the see all settings. When you click see all settings, it opens up into your settings screen, and you can browse through the different general settings and other settings that you are trying to make changes. So most of the settings are general. and they are generally defaults, and a few can be set according to your preference. So it's up to you to browse through the settings and make changes according to your need. One of the preferences that you may want to consider is the nudge preferences. So emails that you might have forgotten to respond to, you can actually set it up with a nudge notification. So you can see that you can either click or can check or uncheck the email suggestions that will send a nudge notification. So there are two kinds of emails that you can send a nudge notification. You can be sent a nudge notification for the emails that you have forgotten to respond. And once it is nudged, the nudge notification will bring that email on the top of your inbox to remind you that there is an email that you have forgotten to respond. The nudge notification also will bring that notification, that email to the top, on the top of your inbox for those emails that you may need to follow up. Maybe you send an email to your supervisor, and this after a few days, your supervisor did not respond to your email. So it will show as a nudge to let you know that you have an email to follow up. So once you make changes to your settings, the Save Changes button will become active. Right now, it is not active because I did not make any change at all. So you click Save Changes, and whatever changes you made in your settings will be now set. So if you're going to a holiday, for example, or you are on a vacation, for example, so you are going to a place where you may not have access to the internet, or if you don't really want to receive email for a particular time, you can set up an out of office auto reply. So here, right now, it's automatic that you do not have an out of office auto reply. So the off button is checked, but you can check the out of office auto reply button on. So once it's clicked on, you can actually set the time when the out of office auto reply notification will be sent to whoever sends you an email for the particular time. So when you're on an out of office auto reply setting, whoever sends the message an email to you will be notified that you will not be available to answer, respond, or read your email for a particular time. So you're going to set the date, when would be the first day, or you can also set the last day, but it's optional because you can always, like when you return from your office or to your office from your vacation or a trip, you can always go back here and then click out of office auto reply off. You can also you can also type the subject to describe what the content of your message is, and you can type a message that will inform your recipient you will not be able to receive or read your email for a particular set of time, for a particular time. So then, as you can see, the Save Changes button has become active, and so you can click Save Changes. Once set, always click the Save Changes button at the bottom of the settings page. Otherwise, the changes that you have made will not be made into effect. You can also set up your signature that automatically shows up at the bottom of every email that you send. So here right now, by default, there is a signature, but you can create a new signature, and then you can name that. Probably you can say my signature, and you can click create. And now my signature is here. So you can set it by uploading or typing whatever you want. So right now, when I type my name, it will show. So this is going to be the typeset, the font that will appear at the bottom of my email. But what you can also add your designation. And the good thing about this is also you can add images. So I can insert an image um, in here. You can send an email, send an image. You can upload the image from your uh, computer. So if I would choose an image in from my computer, I can actually like send my signature, and it will be uploaded, and you can see that my signature will be here. So you can actually um, set that signature, and you can actually delete that signature if it's too big. So you can actually put your signature on top of your name. So I'm going to put the pointer right on top of my name. Then that's the time I can send an insert image. So I'm going to upload again that image, my signature. And since it's so big, I can actually make it as a small image. So there it goes. Now I was able to insert now my signature on top of my name. And I am going to add another image that will be part of my signature. So I'm going to insert another image. I'm going to upload. I'm going to find an image that I can include in my, to say this. So this is also, and when I click on it, actually you can click on the image to make it small, medium, or large. So maybe medium, so my recipient can see that. And then once I made some changes, I will have to click Save Changes. So you will observe that when I compose an email, okay, and then I will send that email. As soon as I send that email, it will now be it will include my signature. Um, in Gmail, you use labels to categorize uh, your email. So say, for example, for this email, I want to label it as a webinar email so that I will be able to organize all of these emails into individual labels. So I am going to, since I have not made any label for webinar, I will click create new, and I will name a label, which I will name webinar, and now it will be available here. So this email actually um, would be indicated as inbox. So you can find that in the inbox, and you can also find it in webinars. So in cases when I will be receiving a lot of emails and I cannot find an email that was pertaining to this email for my webinar, I can just simply go, as you can see, the webinar label was created as another folder on the left side of your Gmail screen. So when I click on the webinar, you can find that that is the email that I have labeled as webinar. So you can use the label to create another folder to specifically and particularly organize and put into categories the different emails that you have received. So you can now find that email. So whenever you put a label to every uh, to your email, you can simply click labels. And as you can see now, the webinar label that I have just created will now be available in there. So every time you create a label, it will be available on the list. And then you can click on the webinar and click apply. And as you can see, it is now placed in the webinar folder as well. So another way to identify, or shall we say to flag or to make something important, a particular email, you can make it as a starred email. So you can see before each email, you can find a star icon. If you want to star that email, you can click the star. You can also undo by clicking it again. It will be removed from your star folder. So once you star an email, it will now be found in your starred folder. So as you can see, if I click on that, I have right now 2 starred emails. So I'm flagging these emails so that I would be able to access and open these emails right away. You can also say that you star an email when you find an email to be your favorite email. So the next feature that we are going to consider is thinking about how long will it take you to undo sending your email. You can actually undo sending your email as soon as you realize that you are missing some parts in your email. Maybe you forgot to put in the subject, or you have a mistake in your spelling, and so you have a particular window of time to click undo so that the email will not be sent and you have time to edit your email. So as a default time to undo the sending of the email, you can check that in your settings and click see all settings. And right here, you can see the setting for your the settings for your undo send. And we are going to set that. As you can see, the undo send setting is right here, and your send cancellation period, I set it to 30 seconds, but by default, it's only 5 seconds. So you have only 5 seconds to click undo after you have sent your email. But to give yourself more time, you can set your cancellation period to a longer period of time. You're given up to 30 seconds, and then click make changes or save changes. That has already um, been set. So now when for example, when I send an email, so I will compose an email. So I will send it to one recipient, and then I will say, and then um, and I compose the body of the email, and then now I will click send. Notice that when you click send, you have your message sent box in here, and then you have the undo, and then you have the view message. As you can see, if you set it up for 30 seconds, you have 30 seconds to click undo, and you can go back to the email message, and you can make changes, especially if you realize that you have forgotten probably to write or to type your name. So that is how to make changes, or how to set the length of time or the cancellation period for you to undo your email. So when you are sending an email, you can actually attach a file. So here is an attached file. You can attach a file to your email if you are going to look for that file from your computer. And say, for example, I can attach um, this file. This is a PDF file, and you can see it is now attached to my email. I can also insert a link, and I can actually look for any text in my email, and I am going to highlight that. And when I click insert link, there is a text to display the text that is displayed and highlighted will actually carry the link or the URL of the website that is attached to it. And then I will click OK. You can also insert files using your files from your Google Drive. So if I click on insert files from Google Drive, you can actually choose the files from your Google Drive. And if I insert that, then you can see that the link was actually inserted. But but you have to make sure that you are putting in the cursor in the proper place in your email. So you can now consider uh, thinking about what you can do whenever you receive an email coming from a colleague who does not speak your language and you don't understand. So whenever that happens, you can actually translate the message from your in the body of the email that you receive. So again, click on the hamburger and you can find their translate message. And when you click on that, you can actually um, translate your the message that was sent to you. There are extension features that make Gmail a productive tool. So one of these is your Google Calendar. So your Google Calendar is found right here on the top right portion of your Gmail screen. And if you toggle on it, it says calendar. And to access your Google Calendar, you can click on the calendar icon on the top right portion. So once you open it, you can create events. You can check for schedule and the weeks for the week or for the months. And in your Google Calendar, you can see your event details, or you can set up events as well. You can also reply to an event if, for example, if you're going to an event or you are not going to an event. The other extension that we can use for Gmail is your Google Keep. As you can see on the also on the upper right hand portion, you can click on Google Keep and it opens up and you can create a note by clicking on the plus button, and then you can type whatever your note is, something that you are keeping. So you can actually upload images to keep to store in your Google Keeps. You can also upload documents in your Google Keep so that you may be able to access them while you are working on your Gmail. You can also use the other extension in Gmail, which we call tasks. So with Google Tasks, you can actually create or you can create a to-do list for the day. So you can see that you can add a task and type up and name your task, and you can actually, so this is a to-do list for the day. So you can write down the tasks that you are going to accomplish for the day, and you can do that directly on your Gmail. You can also insert an email into your task. So if you want to insert, actually, if you want to insert this email, you can click and drag the email and drop it in your task, in your tasks, and then it will now be included in your task for the day or your task for any schedule that you are going to make this task available or accomplished. You can also add a subtask, or you can delete that task. At the bottom left corner of your Gmail, and you can find another um, extension. And this is very useful because Gmail is now um, integrated, or Google Meet is integrated into Gmail. So you can actually start a Google meeting here. So you can click on a new meeting and it will generate a new Google Meet, a link for you, and then you can actually send the meeting invite by copying the invitation. You can send it through a link. You can copy the meeting invite. You can share the meeting invite through email. And then you can also actually click start now if you want to start the Google Meet right away. You can also join a meeting. If you have been invited to join a Google Meet, you can click join meeting, and then you can enter the Google Meet provided to you by the organizer of the Google Meet. And then once you enter the Google Meet link, the join button will become active, and then you can click join join button. You can join by clicking the join button. And of course, if you want to leave, and once you are in Google Meet, you can leave the meeting by clicking leave call. So now that you have explore the many features of Gmail, you can enjoy the productivity tools that go with Gmail. Remember that Gmail is not only confined to sending, receiving, and replying to emails, and there is so much more to Gmail. Thank you very much for attending today's video podcast. Thank you also for your interest in my YouTube channel. This is your colleague, Marvin CADORNIGARA, video podcasting directly from New York City. I am inviting you to visit my website. It has all the 44 workshops that I conducted since 2010 as a New York City educator. You can also find my email addresses that you can reach. You can reach out to me using any of these. I am presenting as well my research textbook, which was published in 2002 and was reprinted in 2018. Please let me know if you are interested in purchasing copies of my textbook. Please register for the upcoming video podcast webinars that are scheduled for the whole month of July. These webinars are free, and all you need is to register in order to receive a certificate of attendance. You can find the registration links for these webinars. If you have not done so, please subscribe or click the subscribe button below. You will be notified if a new instructional video or a new podcast is available. This YouTube channel is purely a service to education, and I am not getting any money from my channel. You can see that the videos are never interrupted by advertisements. Lastly, click on the link of the evaluation form and complete the evaluation in order to receive a certificate of attendance. The evaluation can be completed until 10 o'clock this morning. Only registered participants who completed the evaluation can receive a certificate of attendance. Once again, I would like to thank you for joining me in my video podcast this morning, and thank you for your interest in the New Ilonggo Scientifico YouTube channel. I will see you next Saturday for another video podcast. Thank you. very much and have a wonderful day.